What's up, guys? It's John Dominique, the Soul Proponent. Today I want to talk about the love of God. I'm talking about the motivations, the reasoning, the why behind why we're on a spiritual path in the first place, why we're trying to find God. There's a deep inner drive in all of us, a flame that gets sparked by our curiosity of wanting to know the truth, basically. So the love of God, what I'm talking about, is the thirst, the drive of wanting to know the truth, the deepest truth. In most traditional religions and religious systems, the desire to know God comes from more like the rewards that we're promised when we die. For instance, Christianity promises, you're going to go to heaven when you die if you believe in Jesus. That might or might not be true, but it misses the point. The point is, God is for people who are alive here and now. So for the love of God, if we don't question the ideas that we're presented with in traditional Christianity, that if you believe in Jesus, you're going to go to heaven, and if you don't question your motivations to why you want to know God or why you want to believe in Jesus and go to heaven, then you're almost dead before the process even begins. The path to the truth and to the soul and to God is an ongoing, continuous, consistent process. It's not a one-time, I believe and now I'm good, and that you just people think they can get something out of it. But the truth is, you go on the path for the love of God because of the love of God and nothing else. This is going to test the motivations. It's going to test the purity of the heart. We have to be honest and look within ourselves. This is an inward motion. It's not looking outside ourselves for goodies, looking outside ourselves so the priest will think we're a good guy. It's not trying to live up to an image of being a good Christian, because that would make our mothers proud and that would make us proud. There's a lot of unconscious forces that we need to be aware of, and for the love of God, we need to continuously, consistently purify our motives, purify our conscious, purify our awareness. And this purity is not always going to be something pretty. We're not always going to like it. It's actually you run into a lot of things you might not want to be aware of. You'd rather things be the other way. But for the love of God, for the love of the truth, we continue on the path regardless of the consequences. The consequences include a lot of emptiness, a lot of nothingness. And if we look at ourselves deeply enough, we can see that we're trying to avoid this emptiness. This identity of who we take ourselves to be is the actual mechanism that helps us avoid the nothingness. We're attached to this identity so we can avoid the feeling of nothingness, the feeling of emptiness, the worthlessness, the judgments that we feel that this nothingness will bring to us, the feelings that will result if we allow the emptiness to swallow us. For the love of God, we need to allow this dissolving and this erasing of this identity to happen. And for the love of God, we need to know that the truth is that this identity is just an idea. It's a concept. We're hanging on to it for dear life because we don't like what's underneath it. We don't like the truth, basically. We'd rather it be another way. We'd rather have this identity be the truth. So we end up become fixated on these ideas and take them to be reality, these concepts, the identity, human rights, thinking, the thought processes, reason, logic. mathematics, borders, politics, education, tradition, civilization, society. For the love of God, we need to look past these and see that these are the false versions of something more real. We won't know that until we actually go through the process of spiritual awakening and go through the depths of it and continue to go to the depths of it. For the love of God, continuously, consistently. It's not just we think we're done once we get to heaven, once we have a spiritual awakening. No, that's the beginning. All right? People think, oh, there's an end point. Oh, I'm going to go to heaven. We need to, for the love of God, we need to look at our motivations. Why do we want to go to heaven? Unconsciously, if you look deep enough, maybe you want to feel good. If you look underneath that, what's the reason you want to feel good? Maybe unconsciously there's a judgment under that you're a bad person. You need to compensate. It becomes an overcompensation mechanism. And for the love of God, if we look further, maybe we can see that our motivation is tainted by pleasure. We want pleasure instead of the truth. I can tell you for the love of God that the truth is not always pretty. It's not always going to feel comfortable. So for the love of God, we need to check our motivations. We need to inquire into the reasons that we're on the path in the first place. If we're trying to get something out of it, we need to look deeply at ourselves and see what we're trying to get, because I could tell you right now, the path is almost going to show you the opposite. It's not a matter of getting anything. It's a matter of giving and continuously, consistently giving away, giving up. Non-attachment. We practice non-attachment and then apply that to the practice of non-attachment. And we can know that when we're practicing non-attachment, we're going the right way. When it becomes painful, when it becomes difficult, you know you're going the right way. When you feel these forces trying to prevent you from going further and progressing and developing, you know you're going the right way. So in a way, we have to allow the development, we have to allow the backwards progress. Sometimes you have to take 3 steps backwards to take 1 step forward. That happens sometimes. We need to accept that and allow it for the love of God, go through the process and continue no matter what. And part of the purifying process is purifying our motives and knowing that we're going to continue to go on forever on this path, on this trajectory for the love of God. We have to continue that until we become the love of God itself, basically. John Dominique, the Soul Proponent.